there's this really cool magazine called 2000 AD that for a long time I have not been reading. But
Mm-hmm.
Paul talks about it all the time. He's very excited about it. And I do really like Judge Dredd. So this week I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw 2000 AD were promoting this new story in the Judge Dredd magazine. And then I was like, oh, let me see what else they have going on. Recently, they started a new story called Judge Dredd, A Better World. So I read parts 1, 2, and 3. So this is in issues 2364 to 2366. So it is an anthology magazine. These stories are about 6 to 8 pages long. So I kind of read like an issue of the whole story, really.
Yeah.
Um, so this is written by Rob Williams and Arthur Wyatt, with art by Henry Flint, letters by Annie Parkhouse. And here's a quick synopsis of the story because it just started very recently. I think the magazine comes out weekly, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Paul can correct me on that later on. But in Mega City 1, home to over 200 million citizens, this urban hell is situated along the east coast of the post-apocalyptic America. Crime is rampant, and the only future cops are the judges. Empowered to dispense instant justice, can stop total anarchy. Toughest of them all is Judge Dredd. He is the law. Now, accounts judge Mainland has been conducting an experiment in Sector 304 in a bid to reduce crime. And what is this experiment? How about if we solve crime by educating our citizens rather than using constant violence?
Oh my God.
What a concept!
Wait. How
Uh,
does this go wrong? Or is this just a story that is going to like further prove that Judge Dredd is like this horrible, horrible fascist that you should
well,
not root for?
where it goes wrong is that the powers that be, they don't want this experiment to succeed because they like the status quo.
Right.
So funny enough, Dredd is kind of doing his own thing. He's doing something else, but Judge Maitland is kind of our protagonist in this story.
Okay.
So everything, you get to see a lot of that stuff. The book isn't subtle at all, and I kind of appreciate that. Like, I really like that it's kind of in your face about it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this is a book from the UK, so like they're just kind of speaking in general terms because obviously fascism is a worldwide problem. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, but yeah, the art is very clean. All the characters they look either super badass or kind of gross. There's no in between with 2000 AD art. I feel
Yep.
like,
Yep.
which like I said, I'm really enjoying. It's very well paced. The chapters are broken up very neatly. It really feels like I'm just reading a chapter on Shonen Jump, but this is about UK stories instead of
Mm-hmm.
manga. And I'm completely sold on 2000 AD. So I'm gonna be checking out a few more stories. I was also already a fan of Rob Williams because he's writing Petrolhead with Pi Power on Image. So like,
Hell yeah.
I don't know, if you're not reading Petrolhead, you're definitely missing out
Agreed.
on some really cool art and also some really cool storytelling. But yeah, I'm excited for this. This will be kind of like revisiting an old friend here because I've read Judge Dredd stuff in the past and I really
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed it. And I feel like I'm really fully in now. There's a couple of other stories that I'm reading, but those are in the Judge Dredd magazine, which is a
Okay.
different thing from the 2000 AD magazine. That's the part that I'm still a little confused on. Like, what book is which and all that stuff. So, but I'll figure it
Gotcha.
out. If not, I'm sure Paul can give me some pointers
Yeah.
on how to read all this stuff. But yeah, really fun stuff. Highly,
Mm-hmm.
highly recommend.
Well, it's interesting because though I feel like the art of writing an 8-page story is like a very, very fine one, right? I've read like plenty of Judge Dredd stories. Like Paul and I did a whole thing where we read a bunch of Judge Dredd stories way back in the day and talked about them a bunch. Like the what was it, the Travel of the Curse Lands or something like that. The Curse Lands, where Judge Dredd basically had to ride a motorcycle across America. It was awesome. And those books are so wordy. They are super duper wordy. I guess my question is, has that continued into the modern day Dredd? Did you feel like there was a lot of words in order to like convey things, or is it like a modern day comic where it's kind of paced in the same way?
Maybe this is maybe this is Williams and Wyatt. Like, maybe they have a different writing style, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't, because as you guys may know, I'm not a wordy book kind of guy
Oh
either.
yeah,
So like,
yeah,
I think that's one of the reasons I haven't gone back to read some of the older Judge Dredd,
sure.
because I know it's pretty wordy. Uh, they let the art tell you a lot about the story too. Like they're
Nice.
really good at that. So I feel like they're being cautious and also just kind of very holding back on dropping a lot of dialogue if it's not needed. I like that I feel like they're giving me as the reader enough credit to know that I'll figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
like if I need to. But yeah, I don't think I think that part has changed, or maybe just this creative team is approaching it differently.
Gotcha. Cool. That's very exciting to hear.